Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian and welcome back to Crusader Kings III, Legends of the Dead. So in today's episode we're going to be finishing this war against the Byzantine Empire. They might not even be able to come over here and fight us since they're dealing with this civil war. We'll have to see. So I want to say that, yeah, this war here is pretty close to being done. He's going to be losing this, and thus we'll have a new emperor on the throne over here. And so once he finishes that, he'll be able to redirect all his forces to deal with us, though he is a new emperor, so I don't know if he'll be more powerful or weaker than the last one. This guy is very, very weak. I think that's probably why he had the rebellion in the first place. So we got another one of these tax collector events. Honestly, I'm not sure how I feel about these. They fire a lot, and while sometimes they have some good bonuses, generally they don't. Like this one, for instance, you get capable magistrates for your tax collector, which helps him. Might increase the aptitude of the tax collector, but might not. But to get this, you need to give up our wet nurse or give him a ton of money that we don't have. Or you do this, and we'll lose opinion with him and gain stress because we're diligent. I suppose we'll give up the wet nurse. I don't think she's very good at her job anyways. And let's just hope that he gets better. But yeah, these tax collector events, they just seem a little too frequent. So that's him with the good aptitude, so we'll see if that increases at all. But I also don't like how, for all the other events, they always seem to grab the tax collector for him. I know they're trying to like make him, I don't know, seem consequential or whatever. But it seems too frequent that they only use the tax collectors. Now, with that particular event, it was helpful for us because it did increase his aptitude up to excellent, and that earned us a lot more money. I talked about this at the end of the last episode, just how important the aptitude is. And so going up from good to excellent was very good. But we didn't know that was going to happen. It said it might increase. But that was definitely worth our wet nurse in that particular case. But we do need to get another wet nurse. I don't know how many options we have available. Just one. She's a villain. We've got that strong hook on. We'll go ahead and hire her for this job. I don't know about putting a villain. She's content at least. But in control of your children there, or being around your children, but it was our only option, guys. We need better ladies in our court. Alright, so you see something just happened there. Still sitting at 92% here. That's the only conflict going on at the moment. And he actually just, the emperor just took a county there. So that has helped him in the conflict. And these events, man, they're incredibly annoying. I did not know that people are very upset about this expansion. The reviews are incredibly negative on Steam. I think the overall reviews, it's 35% positive. So overwhelming majority of the reviews are negative. It looks like our vassal here is offering us a mysterious lamp. Okay, so this will increase our prestige and our court grandeur. So we'll go and accept that. He's a generous character. That's the reason why he granted that to us. So we'll put this in place. I bet we probably have an open slot for it. Yeah, it's going to be here on the pedestal. So yeah, it's just increased prestige and court grandeur. Nothing to complain about there. It's not a lot. But yeah, it's bonuses we weren't getting before. So we actually got a plague event here that I don't think we've seen before. Medicinal jar. I find myself passing near Billet's study every day, every hour. The threat of the boils constantly in my mind. Proximity to her study offers some comfort, even solace. Among all the curious utensils she keeps at hand, one in particular, a beautiful painted jar, seems to be special to her. She notices my attention. I see that you have interest in my Ashkenazi medicinal jar. It is a true marvel of handcraft, but the real wonders are contained within. It offers me protection while I go out and save the lives of your subjects. So we can say, surely I'm the one who should be protected. This is a diplomacy learning challenge. If we succeed, we will become the owner of the medicinal jar, increasing plague resistance and learning lifestyle experience. We could ask her, this jar saves lives, give it to me. So just demand it, basically. She'll lose opinion of us in this case. It's an intrigue prowess challenge. We have a 49% chance of succeeding, but a 50% chance that we destroy it. We're also temperate, so we gain some stress. This is a 65% chance of success, where you say, if you say so, please carry on. And this will increase the learning of the court position, and we'll actually lose stress as a temperate character. I think we're going to go with that option. I'm not too worried about the plague resistance. Yeah, let's just go with this. We'll let her keep it and increase her learning. Seems like it would be helpful having her have a higher learning. So we've had 3 events in a row, and thus are not getting anything else done or talked about here. I think we are still working on these 2 sieges, but one is just about finished up here in 3 months. But this one is concerning our lifestyle with the stewardship. So we determine what we want to do with our time. We can say, I've heard rumors of a lost tome rediscovered. This is a learning challenge with an 88% chance that we'll gain a very good book artifact. Instead, we could help him manage his holdings, get a weak hook, or secure those trade deals to fill our treasury. This will give us 750, and I feel like that's probably the better option. I know that getting the book would be helpful, but 750 is very helpful. And when it comes to getting the books in the game, you'd spend less than that if you just finance somebody to write one for you. And so I think this is the best option. That's a lot of money, guys. And we could definitely use it for a few different reasons. So first of all, we wanted to create new titles. So looking around our lands, it seems like the place where we have the most independent titles is right over here, with just like counts and stuff. In many of the other places, there's actually already dukes. You also have some here, but this is kind of more problematic location because if you look at the duchy, it's the Duchy of Azerbaijan. And the issue with this one is that we have 2 of the counties here, and our heir has the other one. And so we don't want to create one here. That would be a good place, perhaps later, but I don't know. I kind of want to keep this title here. Another option besides this area would be up here where we have 2 cousins in power. And the duchy is only these 3 counties, so you're only getting rid of 1 vassal. Anything kind of helps though. So you'd have to pick one of these 2 cousins to give the title to, just to show you what that duchy title looks like. So the problem with these ones here is that they are under another cousin. I know he'd make the best duke, considering the fact that he's the most powerful of the 3 of them. But one of my issues is he's got this territory over here. And the other issue is that he's not very good at anything. And this would make him one of our more powerful vassals. And so he'd expect a position on the council. And another issue is he doesn't have any children yet, while being married to, well, he's betrothed. That's interesting. The betrothed but not married to an older lady who's not going to be giving him any children. So who is his heir? Let me just take a look. Who's going to inherit? Oh, we inherit it all. Okay. Going to be our heir that would inherit next. Unless he has a child, he'll be around for a long time. Unless you're to say, take him out. Yeah, I suppose that would be an option as well. I didn't see that. So you might not want to give. Yeah, you know what? We're not going to give it to him or make him a vassal of somebody else. We're just going to do, we'll do it with these 2. We'll have to figure out what we want to do with this cousin here. But for now, we can give one of these guys here the title. These children, they're both children. And I suppose it makes the most sense to give it to the oldest one. He's not too bad. He hasn't even finished his education. And yet his marshal's 13 and his stewardship's 11. So he's really not too bad here, guys. He's shaping up to be a pretty decent character. I mean, he is wrathful and impatient, but he is diligent as well, so he's going to do his job. While the other character, he's compassionate, likes to spend some money. And stat-wise, it's really just his stewardship. But I don't even know if we'll be giving these guys, whoever it is, a position on the council, because we actually already have some pretty good characters on the council, just compared to these 2 here. I can see him being a potential marshal in the future, though. He's got martial education and already has that 13 martial, so maybe he'll take the place here of this character who's depressed. So yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll give him that position, which means we do need to create it with this money that we got here. Again, it doesn't get rid of a lot of positions, but you know what, I was looking around, guys, and there's not many that would get rid of very many vassals. So kind of unfortunate situation. Just going to show you what the duchy situation is right now. And most of these are already created, or if they're not created, they would not get rid of very many vassals. Like even here, I think because some of this is owned by characters that you couldn't put underneath the Duke, I think it only gets rid of one vassal as well. It's just not, there's not really very many good situations to get rid of vassals with the duchy titles. Alright, so let's go and create this. And then we're going to go ahead and grant it out to this character here. And this will also put his cousin underneath him as a vassal, but will not put this character. Alright, so I got rid of one of our vassals, as that will open up a slot here in our basic taxes, because we filled these all out with the exception of this one, which again I just don't want to give out or put too many people under them, because then you're going to decrease your prestige by more than we already are doing. So we'll sign whichever one grants us the most money here. It seems one of them is really cheap, or doesn't give you much. I actually did that intentionally. But this guy here, we'll want to get him put underneath us, get us a little bit more money. Alright, so that was one duchy title created. And he might end up becoming a powerful vassal. Probably not though, because you know what? I didn't think about the fact that we have some very powerful dukes. So yeah, that might not be enough. Just give him a duchy title. But yeah, now we got another duke here, guys. I wouldn't be surprised if he declares war over this title against his cousin, because that's now rightfully his. For the next title, we could either create the Duchy of Edessa. Again, only getting rid of one vassal, because you have two here. So you'd either give it to this character, which I believe we've seen him in some events. He has control of these three locations here. Or you give it to this character. And then whichever one you didn't grant it to, you'd make the other one the vassal of them. They're both older characters. One has an heir, while the other does not. So we would get that title back when he died. He does have a young spouse. She's not even of age yet. I assume he'll have children eventually. His spouse is older, so he only has the daughter and the son, but most likely one of them will inherit. So that's one of the options, and then here's the other duchy title that we can create. And while it looks larger, the issue here is that this Seljuk guy who owns all this territory already owns the majority of it, or owns several locations here. So you're really only only getting rid of one guy. Either this guy here or her. So that's what I found across our empires. For each one of these duchy titles, we're getting rid of one vassal. So it's just not very efficient, but still kind of necessary. So over here, I feel like Vahan the Brave would be the better option. Maybe he doesn't have any children, and then you get it back and can grant it out to somebody else. You probably will have children with that young spouse, but you never know what will happen. Just kind of better than this situation over here, though he does have good diplomacy. Again, I don't think either of these will become a powerful vassal, so it doesn't really matter. Their stats overall. Neither of them are knights for us or serving us in any other way. I think it's just better to grant it out to this guy. So that's what we'll do. Obviously, we need to create that title first. And then we'll grant it out to Vahan the Brave. And let me just find it here. It's this one. So we're going to grant that. It'll get rid of one vassal. Also increase his opinion, which right now he doesn't actually like us. So I suppose that's one issue. I don't know how this other character feels about us. He likes us a lot more. You do get a plus 60. Yeah, I think he's still the better option, even if he's not a huge fan of us. See, he likes us a lot more. now that we granted him that title. Alright, so next would be over here, and this would probably be the last title we create just due to the amount of money we have. And you know what, we got rid of some of the vassals, and I wish it would have been better, that we had better options, but we just don't. I thought that we could get rid of more vassals from giving out these duchy titles, but we're going to need kings. And in order to give out kingdom titles, we need to get an imperial title. So that's going to be necessary. I think that the best option is this character here. So yeah, let's go ahead and grant it to him. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these result in some wars. We could probably expect conflicts to erupt because of me granting these titles out. Well, these guys do not like us, by the way. So we'll grant that out. And again, I think that they're going to try and take this from this guy here, which would actually be better because I want to reduce his power overall. Though I don't even know if he'll be able to, because he's not exactly the strongest character at the moment. Alright, so that got rid of a few of our vassals, enough where we can now make sure that everybody is taxed. And we also have an open slot here. So what you could do is move, I don't know if this character here, yeah, you could just put him in there. Yeah, I guess we'll do that. And so we still have one tax slot opened up now, which we might end up having another vassal. I don't know if we'll be able to grant these out to existing vassals or not. We'll have to see. So we did take over this one. We finished up the siege there. So now, I don't know if there's anything else left to get since our allies here are already doing the siege here. So that's everything that we declared war for. And it's probably not going to be enough on the war score unless you sit and wait for the ticking war score, which yeah, we wouldn't want to do that. So I suppose we'll go siege this next. This guy's having some issues. That's why it's taking so long, but that's okay. And then we'll move him over to here where he can get a supply back up. You can see we're using up some of those supplies there. And just be able to cover this unit here. And hopefully nobody attacks us over here after how long we spent doing that siege. And it seems that our daughter has come of age. And she's an astute intellectual. And she's a twin, so that means that our heir has come of age at the same time. And he got the elusive shadow. Alright, fantastic. So we got the level 4 education. Very nice. So his intrigue is 26. Because we did kind of design him with traits that, you know, he's a very treacherous villain. He's arbitrary, callous, and deceitful, kind of a monster. Well, I suppose he doesn't enjoy the suffering of others. He's just indifferent to it. He really just doesn't care about other people. And very deceitful. And Hassan has come of age as well. And he's a fortune builder. So he did pretty good at his education, setting out the 13 stewardship. So we've already given out titles to everybody. Remember, when we die, the inheritance isn't set yet, so we will see some of these titles lost. We're going to lose 3 on succession. So it looks like these 2 counties, I don't know where this one is, let's just take a look. That's down here, as well as this one here, which I really don't want to lose that one, but there's not really much to be done about it. So maybe when our son takes over, we'll grant this title out. I'd prefer to be able to keep these, but clearly that's not going to be the case. And so in that case, you can create the new duchy title here, and this is one, the Azerbaijan one, where you could get rid of quite a few vassals. So yeah, might be something we do once we take over as the next character. We're only 49 currently, so it's not really going to be happening anytime soon, or you'd think not. Guess we'll have to see. We can transfer him over, which is going to get us a penalty if we don't, but again, I don't think that's the best option, since we're set to inherit all this. Although not any longer. Well, that's interesting. Now it's a sibling. Wonder why that changed. Okay. Not entirely sure why the air there changed, but it did. So 4 months to get this siege done. Same thing with that one. We did actually inherit something here. We're just looking at an inheritance. So we inherited these 2 titles over here. So we'll see if those can be granted out to somebody. So these titles already belong to a duchy, which somebody holds who's not underneath us. And he's not willing to accept becoming our vassal. -15 currently. And even if he was willing to accept it, he couldn't do it because he's at war. A couple wars, in fact. So he might end up losing some of these titles as it is. Yeah, it looks like he's going to potentially lose some. Because I think he was defending in both of those, wasn't he? Yeah. So one of them is over this location. And then the other one is over this location. So we'll have to see what happens there if he ends up losing both those wars. But for now, we can just grant this out to some character. It's not really anybody in the area, I don't think. I mean, this is the guy who's fighting the wars for those titles. So you could grant it to him. He already has several counties, though. Oh, he has a duchy title as well. So he has that one. So we don't really need to give him an area that has another duchy title. So I suppose the only option is this character here. So he currently has that barony and the county. So you could grant that to him. He's not a bad character. He's greedy. He's brave, though. Holy warriors have a lot of traits here. Just 32. Has a son and heir as well. Yeah, why not? So we'll grant him both of these, the county and the barony. And he really, really likes us now. And so I can see that there's going to be future conflict between these two here. Once he gets those titles. And looks like our son did learn a language. Siege here is just a few months away from being done. It's taking a long time because of that lack of troops. They're sending these guys to do that siege, which we just finished up this one here. We're at 25% on the current war score. Suppose we'll just move to the next location now over here. These guys were able to collect up some supplies. Trying to see if there's anywhere where we can go with these troops here where they wouldn't be over the supply limit, but it doesn't seem like it. Yeah, no matter what, you're going to be over it unless you take some of these troops out, which I don't really want to do. Well, maybe they don't even have anybody over here to attack us. Well, it looks like that war did finish up, so now the new emperor is going to be able to focus solely on fighting us. And he is definitely more powerful, as expected, because that other guy was really, really weak. He has an heir. Alright, so yeah, they have a new Basilius. So my goal is still the same. And so now we do have to be aware. I should have went to that way. I don't think it matters though. But yeah, we do have to be aware of that fact. Oh, we got brought in somebody else as well. But that we could now be attacked in any of these locations. This one will be done soon. And then we can get the troops out of there. But yeah, clearly we're going to need our army closer. There's just nowhere to move or you're not going to take attrition though. Maybe once we take over the Mesopotamia, excuse me, if we take over that. Oh, it's interesting that this is Mesopotamia. When I think of Mesopotamia, I think of between the Tigris and Euphrates, that entire region. I didn't know there was a province that was called that. So we're getting this one here. Not going to help us because we generally don't have the stress level, but it does let us get to that next one. Finally. There's a lot of things we had to get in order to get over to that one. Yeah, this siege is taking forever. Anyway, so what I was talking about is just how bad the damn reviews are for the DLC. Legends of the Dead. I was a bit surprised by this because I didn't know that there were so many people that were unhappy about it. I only found out because of the latest development diary, where Paradox kind of addressed it. It came across as a very like "we're sorry" type of dev diary, like explaining how they're gonna fix it and what they're going to do to address everybody's issues with the DLC, which many of those issues that people were complaining about, like for instance, the way the plague system works, that's what made me bring this up in the first place, is all those notifications. A lot of people are not happy with the plague system. I agree with their complaints. Yeah, they're going to hopefully address some of those issues in the upcoming patch. So this is another one of the events for the tax collectors, by the way, guys. So we're just going to go ahead and select this one, make them better, increase the stewardship. Also, there's a chance we'll get the 10% clan vassal tax contribution. Well, we did. All right, excellent. So that's been going well for us, those tax collector events. So now we're increasing our revenue right when we need it here at wartime. I'd say we're actually earning money in the war. We got another promoter that has joined. Just take a look and see where we're at here. This is another system that's been complained about. Some people complain that it's too powerful. Other people say it's too weak. So there isn't really a disagreement on what people don't like, outside of many people saying they don't like the way it works. It seems to like hands off, or that it didn't work the way that people thought it was going to, just based on the way the developer diaries explained it. We have 169 baronies, by the way, of the necessary 300. You see how it's spreading. The valiant defense. But yeah, I thought that was interesting when they talked about the dev diaries, that unlike the plague system, that pretty much everybody agrees what the issues are with that one. And unfortunately, our spouse did die. Thus, we're probably getting that penalty to the piety again for not having enough spouses. Yeah, we are. We still need to do the Hajj as well. So yeah, let's go and see if we can't find a spouse. Our current primary spouse here is not bad at all. She's got a decent collection of stats. We don't want a young spouse. We don't need any more children. We have 9. That is plenty enough, guys. Plenty enough. So we're going to want older women. And we can do the sum of all skills. Basically, they need to be at least 45, I think, if we want to avoid having children. As we've seen that the women in their 40s are still highly likely to have children in the game. Far more likely than they should. Now, maybe you can make the argument that instead of decreasing the likeliness of them getting pregnant, you should make it more likely that they have complications. That might be the more accurate way of doing it. Well, at the top here, she's clearly the best. I know she's 43, but I guess we could go with her. So yeah, we'll arrange this marriage. This is really just about trying to ensure that we don't lose as much piety. We'd need to find another spouse so we're not losing any. But I don't know if we're going to do that right now, guys. I think finding one is good for the moment. But yeah, I definitely agree with many of the complaints about the plague system. That it's not, it's really not fun to play around with. And it's kind of annoying. And, there's the problem with the minor plagues, the inconsequential one. They give you far too many notifications about those. Most of the plagues are very minor. And I agree with the general consensus that I'm seeing on the forums, is that what we need is plagues to be more significant, but you have less of them, and then also to reduce the clutter, and that's what Paradox seems to be addressing. So this is regarding our wife, Claim of Convenience. She eagerly brings this man before us. Is she going to want us to hire him? No, it seems this guy has claims on one of his titles. I think it's this one here, yeah. Has a few other claims as well. I don't know that we'll be pushing those claims. Let me just take a look at where this is at. I don't know that I'm gonna want to fight a war for one county. Yeah, he also has a liege as well, so you'd have to fight him for one county. So I don't know if we want to do that. He's not very powerful or anything. Just I don't really like doing wars for just a county. But what I did notice is that he has a very good prowess. He's an older guy though. What, athletic and robust? Gallant, Aspiring Blade Master. So yeah, we'll bring him in, since our wife wants us to. Could say good luck with that, just take the opinion loss, or you can even arrest him to turn him over to him. But that is tyrannical. Yeah, we'll get the new knight. Also been invited to a hunt. I'm not going to go to this. Yeah, it's way over here. It would probably take us a long time to get over there. With our capital up here, we're pretty far from many of the locations in our lands. And just many of the hunts we've been invited to, they just take too long to get there. But yeah, I don't know what people were expecting with the plague system, because like one complaint I've seen, got an event here. One complaint that I've seen is that it doesn't have much to interact with. Basically, you just decide to isolate your capital or to isolate yourself, and you get that one event that fires when the plague first starts or first comes into your land, the event regarding your doctor and how you want to approach it. So that's something that always fires, and it's obviously just another spammy type event, which there's a lot of that in this game already. And then there's always the event at the end where you have to pay all that money to help the counties out that suffered, even if they're like small inconsequential counties on the edges of your empire, and you're paying all this money for it or else losing legitimacy. And just kind of weird the way that works. So yeah, there are some legitimate complaints there, but I'm not entirely sure what kind of interactions people were wanting with it. I honestly was not all that excited for the plague system. I'm glad they added it because I felt like it was something that was lacking, and they had it in CK2, but I wasn't like excited for it as a feature because I didn't expect there to be that much involving it. And so I was more looking forward towards other features that were in this expansion. Well, let's take a look at this event here. So this is in regard to our settings for the court grandeur for our feast. Each day it seems that my court is abuzz with talk of the next banquet, and many have grown rather more portly as of late. What do we have it set to anyways? Just the decent food. I think it would be higher considering the content of this event. So the culinary activity is fueled by these three characters here. Our niece, caravan master, and tax collector, constantly vying to demand the most memorable meal from my overworked cooks. Today is my courtier Zarab who drools. My liege, tonight I'm having the kitchens prepare the richest sauce known to man, served with a 10-bird roast, licking his lips hungrily. Ahmad Assad sighs disapprovingly. These fleeting pleasures are nothing compared to Allah's grace. Okay, so we say, I can't wait. We're temperate, so we would gain stress. Only the best for my court. This would increase court grandeur. This extravagance has gone too far. This would result in us getting some piety, but will change the quality of food. Just to decent food, which is what we already have it at. I feel like the trigger's not working. Yeah. Because the content of the event would indicate that we're doing either lavish food or exotic food, but we're not. So the trigger didn't work properly. That's what I thought. Because this is not generally the type of event you'd get for the decent food. So that doesn't actually change anything for us. It would upset these three characters though. Or we say, will you never be satisfied? Honestly, I don't really care about any of these options here. Nor do I really care about upsetting any of these characters. We're gonna go with this option, just take the piety. But most of those court events are like that. That's why we never hold court, because this is just it's never very good. The events are terrible. They're generally negative. Sometimes you get something positive, but usually they're just irrelevant. And so it takes time to read through 3 events that I just don't think is worth it. These guys finished up their siege here. We're at 64% currently, and still the enemy, there they are. I was going to say they still hadn't come after us, but they're down here. Alright, so we would want to attack them then. And then just continue doing our sieges. This guy's a threat. It's a hostile army. It's not the Emperor's army, but still could potentially attack any of these guys. The ticking war score should be going up now that we've taken that. Looking for somewhere else where we can go. We're still going after this, and our vassals are taking this over. What we're going to want to do is go after this guy here. But not that way. Probably through here. This will be done here in just 22 days. So let's just put this guy in the hills for now. Yeah, this siege is already being worked on, so we'd have to attack them. But yeah, the events here, they're just not, they're not interesting, and they're so costly. You just have to like pump so much money into it just to get like little bonuses. A popular opinion bonus in one county and some prestige for 435 gold. Or you say, what a waste. And you lose legitimacy and prestige and gain stress because we're diligent while pissing off that location. So you just gotta pay this insane amount of money. And yeah, just overall, it feels like the entire plague system, besides not being interesting, is just hugely penalizing and annoying. So just not as well done as it could have been. I was trying to get rid of those there. And looks like he's going to succeed, unfortunately. Yeah, that's a real shame. We didn't get there in time. I didn't see it. Probably could have been so distracted with all these events. Although he might take off anyways. Oh no, bringing more troops in. He is taking off. So yeah, we'll go ahead and attack this guy while the other dude is leaving. Because I think he should get out of there in time. Let me just double check here on when that guy is leaving. We have to attack within the next 11 days if we want to get the bonus since he's recently disembarked. So he leaves in 6 days. We get there in 4. So that attack is a little too quick. That's 5, so you gotta let it go another day. And then they might both get out of there, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, it looks like we can attack one of them. They might both be there. It's hard to say. No matter what, though, we're going to win. It looks like we would fight both of them. But yeah, we're going to win because of the recently disembarked penalty and just more higher quality troops. Although they get the defensive bonus because they did take that location, unfortunately. Damn, that sucks. Could wait till they go over here, but then you got to attack across the river and they won't have the recently disembarked penalty anymore. I think we just attack them here, guys. Yeah, it's only the one army. Okay, so that's good. This guy's gonna come. Oh, is the plague all over here? Yeah, maybe we got some plague in this area. But he's gonna come over here. Want to see if he goes after any of these troops here. We're currently at 70%. We haven't done any battles yet, so we can get the 50% war score from battles, and the war score is ticking up. The ticking war score is gone because we've conquered the area. And looks like that was enough. Was it just due to the battle, or did we capture somebody? Nope, just because of the battle. We're at 50% already. That's all that was necessary. Okay, we'll take a look at this battle real quick. You see we killed 2,232 and only lost 68 of our own. Wow, that went incredibly well. And these are the characters we captured. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and make peace. Pretty easy war overall. Not too bad. So that's our first victory against the Emperor, and it's nice that they added to this, which makes sense because it's kind of like our first war against them, our revenge. And so I'm a little surprised that it has updated, but I'm glad it does. It should note that. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything specific. We're at 178 currently when it comes to those baronies. Yeah, here's the disease, guys, where it's currently at. So where we were just fighting. Okay, so yeah, we got control of this territory, so we need to grant it out. It's 3 counties that we took over. So could just grant it to somebody new, or could give it to somebody who's already in this area. We don't want to give it to him since he has a liege already. This character also already owns a lot. This is our son. There's this character. We could give it to him. He has 2 counties and a barony. But yeah, I could give it to him. I think that's what we'll do. Or at least give one of them. Could give them all to the same person and then create the duchy title as well. Though we're short on the funds at the moment. We could just create a whole new duke here if he saved up for a little while. Since we're not at war, so we could save it up. It wouldn't take us that long, honestly. And then you create a duchy title and grant that out, all 3 of them, to one person. So that would be an option as well. Might be what we do. Let me just take a look at the current development here. It's pretty low in all these locations. So yeah, that might be the better way to go, because this guy already has territory. So I think we will... Are you serious? So it's definitely not 45. She's 46 and she just got pregnant again. She just keeps having kids here. Well, I guess it wasn't her that was having them recently. Her last kid was 14 years ago. Well, you know, we've had some more recently than that. We've had 3 children more recently. To the princess here who died. Okay, so it's unfortunate. Their spouse got pregnant again. Because we're already giving out a lot of territory, or more than I'd want to when we die. Another promoter joined, but we had one leave as well, so it kind of just offsets each other there. We do have family members that need to get married, a daughter and a son. We can demand payments from our wet nurse. Since we have that hook on her, we wouldn't get much. It's only 12 of the 15 she owes us. But then I guess you get rid of the hook. And then we got the ransoms that we haven't taken care of either. So let's go through our prisoners. See who all we can ransom for money or whatever else. Maybe make some of our knights. This guy's good when it comes to learning. But yeah, I'm not sure. Well, I mean, you could make him a doctor. Yeah, he's not too bad if you wanted to recruit him. Could even get the weak hook on him on top of that. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. Yeah, because he's got that very high learning, so there's probably some positions he could do in our court. I'm sure there's something. Or maybe you lose a character and then you could use him for that. You know, but he's a doctor, so with good learning, so I think he's a good option for recruitment. This character here, she's older. Yeah, I'm not sure what you'd do with her. Probably just ransom her for the 10 gold since she does have her own money here. So yeah, we'll just go and ransom her. Got this character. Not bad when it comes to stats, but not good prowess either. So he wouldn't become a knight. And he's old. Could demand his conversion. Can't get the money from him. King wouldn't accept that. He wouldn't accept conversion either. I guess you could just get the weak hook. I don't really want to recruit him though. So we'll just take the weak hook on him. This character is an okay knight. Probably not good enough to actually serve us. But could recruit him. He's a Russian. He'd have to convert. Yeah, I guess we could do all that. Could have made him our executioner as well. So yeah, I took care of all the prisoners. Gotta do the marriages still. I'll take care of that probably next episode. I'll take a look at all the potential options. But we also have more potential vassals. So I don't know if we've looked at any of these recently. I know we have a few that we've decided against vassalizing. This character is real no reason not to vassalize him though. With the religious exemption. Here's another character he doesn't own much, so no reason not to vassalize him. This character has a bit more power, yeah. But still, I don't think it's enough to warrant not vassalizing him. He's just a duke, basically. So yeah, we're definitely increasing our lands significantly under this particular character. Yeah, we'll vassalize this character too. Although he does have a lot more territory. It's all in the same area. There's just a lot there. So these are all like barony and county titles here. But I think it's worth vassalizing him. This guy's another one with a lot of territory. He might be one that I said that we weren't going to do. It is just a duchy title. He's just got a ton of counties and baronies. Yeah, that's definitely not him. I think it was the character that owned all this that I said I wasn't going to do, which might be this guy. Yeah. This is the one I said I would not vassalize. He just owns too much. Because he has multiple duchy titles. And it's all spread out in a weird way as well. Yeah, he has all this here. He's a little too powerful. This character has a lot less troops. 1,300, maybe 2,000 when he gets full, compared to this character with his 5,000 troops. So yeah, just too large. But this guy, I don't see why he wouldn't do it, particularly if we can do it no exemption for his religion there. All right, so this will be another drastic increase in our total territory here, as we just become more and more powerful. Though eventually this is all going to come back to bite us in the ass. With some succession issues, I expect. We're again above the vassal limit. But well, I guess that'll create another vassal, won't it? Yeah. We have somebody else. Nope, that's that character. But this character. That can be vassalized. We can send it off to him, but yeah, we're just continuing. Find ourselves above the limit. And with so many of these being dukes already, there's just no way to fix it until we get an imperial title. So looking at the imperial title, there's the Byzantine one here, which a lot of our lands are in, but the majority of our lands are in the Persian Empire, as you'd expect. And that's the one we want to create. And it looks like we do not yet have enough counties. We own 96 of the 100 required, so we're almost there. Then you gotta have 850, and we'd have to have 2 kingdom titles, but that's easy to do because we could just create a kingdom title. So we were very, very close to getting it. You just get a couple more vassals. In fact, we could just accept him as a vassal, and that would be enough. But if you're going to do that, you want to make sure you could go ahead and form the empire right away, so you can start giving out some kingdom titles. And so we need a lot of money, essentially. And that would help us with the being over the vassal limit as well. We do have several untaxed vassals and just not enough space for all of them either. So basically what we want to do is take the worst vassals out. So you just go through here, since this is based on taxable income, find who has the poorest vassals, and it looks like they're almost all Zeram. So yeah, what you'd want to do is just go ahead and go into his, and then just the lowest paying ones, including our son and heir. We won't tax him. And just take them out. So remove all them. And we'll need to bring in some more, but let me just see if there's anybody. Like maybe go into this here and see. Yeah, there's one with under this guy we should probably take out. The rest are all Zeram, which I think we probably did that intentionally. Okay. So let's go ahead and first remove the lowest down here, which is actually that Vahan the Brave character. Remove him, and we have to remove 2 more. So remove, I guess, these 2. And then we'll assign any ones that we can to Zeram, since his are more limited, since it's the religion one. And so we'll assign these ones first and get as many as we can here. So he has a lot of space opened up. Alright, so that covers his 12. And then we have 2 open slots here. So let's go and assign 1 to him. Again, just the highest one here, which I guess is that guy. A little surprised because we've just pulled him out. Am I missing anybody up here? No, I guess not. And then 1 to him. So again, just whichever one would pay the most money. And this will still leave several people not paying taxes, but there'll be those who pay the lowest taxes. So you see them through here, including our heir, since he just has the 1 title. And so that's fine. Overall, we're earning a lot more money. So we only need to play 2 more months in order to be able to create this title here. And unfortunately, we lost a bit of our legitimacy because of that, the Armenian boils plague. Yeah, they're just so inconsequential. And yet they give you some significant penalties. So yeah, we'll summon the physician here. But yeah, would we care about the plague being over here when we're so far away? As of right now, anyway. And like, why would people in our heartland care about the way we've been addressing a plague in Armenia? So we'll just say a soft approach here. Which we did get the bonus there. But yeah, that fires with all the plagues. The constant notifications. Again, yeah, it wasn't well done. So I understand many of the complaints. I'm just a little surprised because I didn't know that it was doing so poorly. The reviews are so bad. But yeah, I haven't been extremely impressed with the DLC. It's all right. You know, it's not bad. It's the Legends thing is kind of interesting, I think. But yeah, the plagues was not something I was excited about in the first place. But I like the Paradox is talking about making many adjustments, not just to the stuff in this particular DLC, but to a wide variety of other things, which one of them is something that I was talking about in today's episode with the whole court. They're going to be adjusting that and making it more significant, those events, or at least that's what they said. They said they're going to redo this whole system so that it's actually worth doing, because right now nobody presses that button, or hardly anybody presses it, because it's just not worth it. It's not worth your time. And so it's made the developers really look at the game and the way they've been developing things, the way they've been doing things, and I think that they're going to make some improvements. Looks like the Byzantine Empire is back in a civil war. Somebody else has a claim they're trying to push. Okay, so just constant civil wars with the Byzantines, as it should be. So we got an event here about a missing village. Lit only by a single candle, my finger pauses on an entry in the ledger. Something is not quite right. Soon I'm searching through every record from the county of Tabriz I can find. At last it is clear as day. It seems as if an entire village has gone missing from the taxation records. So this is for our stewardship here. We can say the tax collector in Tabriz must investigate. I shall travel to the village personally. Our villages go missing all the time, pay it no heed, and for some reason, as a diligent character, we lose stress. I don't know why. It's probably supposed to be the opposite. I think we're supposed to gain stress saying that. Yeah, we'll travel to the village personally, see what's going on, because maybe it's the tax collector that's corrupt. Alright, so we've got the money to create the county here. This is the last thing I wanted to do in today's episode. I meant create the duchy. We obviously already have the counties there. So we're going to go and create this. And then we're going to want to grant it out, again, to a new character. So we could do a knight. So it seems there's no knights in here that don't already have titles. Our knights are pretty good. This is our worst one. And he has a prowess of 18. So pretty darn good. So the other option would be to... Let's take a look if we have anybody in our dynasty that we can grant it to. Since we do like to keep it within the family, if possible. So somebody who isn't already set to inherit territory, which many of them might. This guy's not set to inherit anything at the moment. Well, that's interesting. He's too young. Yeah. His brothers will inherit. Okay, so he already has a title. Because this is our brother and spymaster and friend, Manu the Brave. It seems that he's set to inherit all this, so he would be a viable option. So maybe we'll grant it to him. Which one of these is the duchy title? This one here. So that's who we want to be looking, or the one we want to be looking through. But yeah, many of the others are probably going to be inheriting something, or too young. We could have just went and made sure we were checking people who aren't already landed. I think he's the only option though. Just looking in here, everybody else is set to inherit something where they're a baby. So I think we're going to grant it to him. So we'll grant him that title, and this one with the duchy. And he's going to love us for it. It also gets rid of the issue of having too many counties. Doesn't help with our vassal limit though. Also, we might want to throw him into one of these jurisdictions. Let me just take a look who the worst one is. Well, he's set to not earn anything. I'm guessing it needs to update. I don't know if you need to let that play for a month or whatever, and then see if that will fix it. I assume that's what the issue was. Because as a duke with 3 counties, he should be earning good money, but you know what? The control is so low, maybe that's not the case. Yeah, you see he has moved up some. I think he still will be the one to earn the most eventually. And that might be the case with this guy as well. Is that he just got 3 counties that just don't earn very much. And so maybe that's the reason why he's so low down on here. You know what, let's go and assign that guy then. So we'll do that. Probably just got to come in here and make adjustments as their income changes. Micro it a little bit if you want to make sure you're making the best amount of money there. And our income is actually declined a little bit. We're at 23 currently, where we were at 25, but still high enough that we can save up some good money, because what the plan is here is that we're going to probably avoid any wars, since we really don't need more territory at the moment with us being so far above the vassal limits, and we can't really fix it with the creation of duchies. And so our only option, of course, is to become an empire. And so what we'll do, I mean, maybe we'll get some people who want to accept vassalization in the area, and then we can do that in order to get the 100 that we need. They all need to be in Persia. Another option would be to just accept him as a vassal. We'd want to do that towards the end though, when we're already saved up enough money, which, remember, we need enough money to create a kingdom title first. So let me show you the different kingdom options we have in here. There's the Kingdom of Persia, probably be the one that makes the most sense to make. Also the Kingdom of Armenia. I won't go through all these, but there's a bunch of different kingdoms we can make, as you can see. I think it makes the most sense to do the Kingdom of Persia first. Though that would be the one that would end up getting inherited if you didn't move your primary title. That would get inherited by somebody else, not our son and heir. And so that needs to be considered as well. This is the kingdom that our son could inherit. The Kingdom of Dalam. So you could create that one instead. Since you have the imperial title for Persia, so you don't really have to have the kingdom title. And we do have the requirements to do both of them. You just gotta have the money. And so it's 425 to create the kingdom title. And then creating the imperial title is 850. So we need a lot of money, guys, in order to get that done. So we'd have to save money for a while and not do anything else, just save money up. And not do activities, not do wars. Even with all we're earning every month, this would still take us years, unless we get some really favorable events. It'd take us years to save up the money necessary. And maybe get negative events that cost you something, especially with the plagues. We see that those are very costly. Again, one of the big complaints with them. And so yeah, it's going to take us many, many years, guys, to be able to create that imperial title. But we do not want to create another kingdom title until after we know for sure we can do the imperial title. We'll have enough money for it and have the titles. Because our character could die, you never know what happens, and then the empire gets split up. And so that'd be disastrous. So yeah, we do not want to create an additional kingdom title just yet. We're going to wait to do that. And we'll create both titles, one after the other. Kingdom title and then the imperial title. So yeah, it's going to take a long time to save money up. We'll just put it on like speed 5. And not really do much, just react to things that are happening, different events. Continue to spread our legend as well. So we're working on that. And that costs money too. Because if we want to increase the quality, it's going to be 405. So we won't be able to do that anytime soon because we're only at 187 of the required baronies. So yeah, that's going to be it for today's episode. Did want to talk a bit about the review situation, because again, I didn't know that so many people were giving negative reviews, and so many people were so unhappy. And just reading through those reviews and what Paradox has said and what I've seen on the forums, I really can't say that they don't have legitimate complaints, because I agree with many of them. But if I'm being honest, I haven't really been happy with Paradox's development on many of their games. Victoria 3 would be an example. You know, I wish that it had been a bit better when it came out. I was fine with it initially, but quickly got tired of the game, and many of the issues it had got so irritating I didn't want to play anymore. And that the overall gameplay loop, like what you do throughout the game, was not good. It gets boring after 1 or 2 campaigns. And so they then released that French DLC, which was okay. And I don't know, just the post support is clearly they're trying to improve it, but it's a slow process, and that's just kind of the way Paradox games have always been. They generally aren't great when they release. It's kind of like flipping a coin with a Paradox game, whether you're going to like it at release. Some of them I really like Wave 4 and CK3. I enjoyed at release, while many of them I do not. Stellaris, Victoria, EU4. There's been quite a few of them. Imperator Rome. There's been quite a few I did not like in their release version. So it takes years of waiting for Paradox to release DLCs and patches to hopefully get it to a better state. Some games they do. Stellaris is an example of one where they took a game that I didn't really like when it launched and made it into a very good game. I really like Stellaris and where it's at. While other games kind of went back and forth, like EU4 for instance, sometimes it was good, sometimes it wasn't. The recent developments I haven't really been enjoying all that much. But yeah, it's just the way Paradox games are. You gotta wait. And so when the early patches and DLCs aren't good, and you already know you gotta wait a really long time, and now you gotta wait even longer because what they're doing with it, the time they're spending on it, isn't what the players want, or isn't good, or has all kinds of problems, then it is a little bit frustrating as a player, since you already have to wait many years for the game to get to a good state. And again, that's not always the case. I feel like CK3 is a pretty solid game, and was from release, and they just have continued to improve it. I've liked many of the things they've done with it, so I don't think CK3 is a good example. They had this one bad DLC or whatever, which isn't even bad in my opinion. It's just okay. It's an okay DLC, but certainly the views have been down for the series, I've noticed, and maybe that's why. The views haven't been so much lower than my CK3 series usually gets. Could also be because I didn't do a roleplay, so it doesn't have roleplay in the title. I know people look that up, specifically look for roleplays. Maybe people weren't interested because they only like my roleplay series, and so that could be the reason for the lower views starting with episode 1. But it could also be just because people weren't impressed with the DLC and what it added. I'm not entirely sure. Well, let me know what you guys are thinking of the DLC. Again, I think it's okay. I have my issues with it. It's not like one of the greats. It does some good things, but overall, it's, I don't know. To me, it was what I expected. I wasn't super surprised. As when they said they were going to be focused on a plague, they've already done the DLC on the plague, so I kind of knew what to expect. And, it's not like a mechanic you're going to interact with much, I would think. It's just something that happens through your empire. That you got to deal with these plagues. They didn't have to make it so annoying. Maybe they could have give you a little bit more interactions. I don't know. But it was kind of what I expected, so I wasn't super excited for the plagues anyway. I just think that they're nice to have. You should have them in the game. I'm glad they added them. They just need to do a little bit better. But yeah, I wasn't expecting much from them. But yeah, the legend system's fine, in my opinion. I don't really have too many issues with it. It's not perfect. I'd like to see them improve it in some ways, but I'd like to hear your guys' opinion of the DLC and the patch. What do you guys feel about it? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Are you kind of more in the middle of the road? It's okay, as I feel. Let me know down in the comments below. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell. I do hope to see you guys on the next one, which should hopefully be much sooner than this video was from the last one. I I've been trying to do one video per week, but we didn't have one last week, unfortunately. And I don't have a whole lot going on the channel at the moment. You know, we're doing the Manor Lords, and that's not going to be a real long series because early access game. And so we should be able to get a couple videos out next week. That's the goal. So I do hope to see you guys on that one, and thanks for watching.